Here we are at last, Game 3 of our best of 3 between Suri and Cenderze. The score is currently tied 1-1, and the winner of this game is going to take the series as a victory for their team. Will Nam Suri pull it out as a victory for Team Nam, or is Cenderze going to snatch the victory away and score the winning point for the Waffle Bunch? Post your predictions down below in the comments and let me know who you think is going to win. Introducing our players in the bottom left, it is the orange Protoss Nam Suri. I believe he's been orange for every game this series. You'll have to ask. Maybe that's his favorite color. And in the bottom right, our purple terror, the Zerg Scourge. It is Ash Cenderze, representing the Waffle Bunch. The map is on Revolver, which for those who are unfamiliar, is that really strange ladder map that has the weird double entrance to your natural. We'll see what I'm talking about here in just 1 second as Suri comes down to place down his starting pylon. There we are. So you've got this entrance here and this entrance here. Generally, a Protoss player is going to put a gateway and a forge here, and that creates a Zergling tight wall. And then you just need a Zealot here to block this off. One interesting thing about this is that it's pretty hard to cover all of this with a single cannon. So that can create some interesting plays for Zerg if they want to be aggressive early on. We'll have to see if that is what Cenderze plans, or if they are both comfortable taking this into a macro game and seeing how it goes from there. The last game did go pretty well for both players. There was a couple of small mistakes that, if corrected, could have had the game go for either one of them. So neither player is definitely at any kind of a disadvantage going into this one. Looks like Suri is going to go for the Forge first this time. Definitely a safer build. I don't dislike that at all. He has seen that Cenderze's gone for the pool first in every game, and he is indeed doing that in this time. So probably no chance of any kind of a cannon rush, but he can still be really annoying with this probe, trying to block the hatch and delay it. He should get there in time to block this as long as he uses the micro properly, but no cannon rush is going to come out. And actually, it looks like Cenderze might be sending this drone out to scout and not going for the hatchery. Oh, nope. There's the drone for the hatchery, and it looks like Suri is not going to go for the block. So Cenderze will get that down pretty much uncontested. The spawning pool will be finishing soon. We are building up larvae, so we may be seeing a 6 Zergling hatch coming out here. It looks like we are going to get just the 1 Zergling like last time, I suppose. If that's the case, I would like to see those drones coming up as soon as possible. There's no reason to save those larvae if you're not going for it. And we are going to get the Nexus before the core. A little bit risky, but he has come in and scouted and seen that only 1 egg did pop. So if he was paying close attention, he should know only 2 Zerglings are on the way. On top of which, it's kind of been Cenderze style so far. And oh, he's going to lose the probe instantly again. That is so bad. You don't want to lose the probe that early, Suri. Micro that probe. That probe is your lifeline. Do not let it die. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. So we have our, we have our cannon coming up here, gateway going down. This cannon should finish before these Zerglings get across the map, and if they don't somehow, then you just put the probe here. And this is blockable by 1 Zealot or 1 probe. If you kind of wiggle it back and forth, it will delay them on the ramp for long enough. But this cannon's definitely going to finish in time, and 2 Zerglings can't really do anything. They can't even really run past this. So they run here and head this way. I think only 1 would die, and then you could probably sneak all the way around like this, but more than likely he's going to try and run straight through, and the cannon can kill both of them in that case. Looks like he's going to do neither. He's going to send 1 Zergling down here, 1 Zergling over here, watch both entrances to the base. I would like to see him poke this one up front and kind of check to make sure that is fully walled or not. Outside of that, we're going to get a pretty normal opening from Cenderze. Gas before 3rd hatchery. 3rd hatchery comes up. It's going to go for the fast flare. We'll probably get Zergling speed with this next 100 gas. Very par for the course for Cenderze, and it's worked out well for him so far, so I don't see any reason to change that now. Okay, Overlord heading across to head into the main base of our Protoss player. Gas has just finished up, and we should see him getting down the core here. Should be like right now. Is he going to light down here? Yep, there's the core right there. Once that finishes up, we'll see your Stargate and your Citadel, and pretty much go into yet another normal macro game from both of our players. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Love the macro games. Love long, hard-fought, back-and-forth battles. First Zealot is heading across the map. I do like this as the first change I've seen so far. Suri in both games before went for the gateway first and then kept his Zealots back. This time he went Forge first. Feels a little bit more comfortable, I guess, sending that Zealot across this time. I would like to see him poke further. At the moment, he's not going to really force Zerglings if he's just dancing around here. The Zerg player shouldn't be making Zerglings unless the Zealot gets like to around here. Because this distance, you can easily pull back and not have to like commit. But if you're on this side, then if you do commit, the Zealots, the Zerglings need to come up in time to stop the Zealot. But yeah, seeing it pretty normal from here. Got 4 Zerglings out, so he did force those Zerglings. Going to slow down the drone production just a little bit, and that's just kind of one of those nice things to do as a Protoss player. Send out that first Zealot. If it dies, it dies. It's kind of a shame to lose it. If you can get it tucked behind some minerals, that's even better. There's not really a good spot on this map. Maybe at the 3rd base, like right here, but even that's not the greatest. But either way, you force 4 Zergling, which is 2 less drones, and 2 less drones does matter in the long run. Cyber Core's finished up. Stargate's halfway done. I would like to see the Citadel coming down now. I believe that's it. Yes, that's it. +1 weapons is on the way for our Protoss player. Our Zerg is getting a Spire up. Still all par for the course. Not seeing that second gas. Probably not a mute to play this game from our Zerg player. But so far, our Zerg player hasn't really shown any propensity to wanting to go mute to play. And that's perfectly fine. No reason to have to commit to it. Don't feel like you do need to. I would like this game to see that first Corsair go immediately to this main base and see what's going on. You want that scouting information far more than you want any data overlords. It's a big, big tell to get in there and see exactly what's going on. 4th hatchery and soon 5th hatchery coming down for our Zerg player. Should see that coming down just now. Don't like the SimCity on that one. There's not really a better spot on this map, I guess. Maybe place it up one more, but then you have to contest with the larva, so that's a bit difficult. Maybe just getting an Evo chamber here or here. That should work. That creates a path there. But this is kind of wide open, but you could place another Evo chamber there later if you needed to. Kind of a difficult base to SimCity. We do have Zealots coming across the map, and they're pretty much uncontested. Going to get at least 1 drone. Oh, good drill. Gets the drones out. Doesn't even lose the 1. 3 Zealots is enough to one-shot a drone. I would like to see the ramp block here with 2 Zealots. Send this last Zealot into the mineral line. We'll see what he wants to do. Looks like he's sending them out randomly. I think they're just a bit confused as they're trying to figure out what's going on. Either way, this is still a lot of damage being done. None of these patches are being mined. All these drones are over here, so they're not being efficient at all. Oh, and we have a Corsair in here, beating on this Overlord. All 4 Scourge coming down. Does manage to split 2 off. He needs to get this Corsair out of here. Does not, unfortunately. Move these Zealots in. Start hacking away at drones. This base still not being mined from. Oh, he's going to get 1 drone here at least. Is he going to react in time? 3 Zealots. Oh, nope. He's reacting pretty darn well. Get... Attack! Attack! Gets 1 drone. Gonna get a second right here. Get that 3rd one. Auto... Just click it. Just click it. Nope. Nope. That's okay. 2 drones. Tons of lost mining time, tons of Zerglings being built. This was an insanely successful harassment from our Orange Protoss here. Suricata showing us exactly how you want to harass. Gets 2 more drones on the way out. These Zealots are going to die, but that is okay. They're live for ire. They did their job. Well done, Zealots. I believed in you. Zealot leg speed is on the way. Protoss +1 armor also started up now. So far, looking exactly like how he wants to do it. Starting the giant Great Wall of Pylons once again. Making another Corsair, because he did lose that first one, and you do want to have at least 1 Corsair on the map. Kind of deters mutas a little bit, and it gives you just insane amounts of scouting information. Hydralisk then out for our Zerg player. Hydralisk range just started. +1 range for Hydralisk is also on the way. Sending these extra Zerglings that he built across the map, but they're not going to be able to find much damage that can be done. Protoss has a cannon that can cover all of this from Zerglings. Hydras can sit here and pick away at this, no problem, but Zerglings can't even attack that safely. Does poke in and see the High Templar. That is big information. Should know that Storm should be finished by now, and that High Templar does have enough energy for 1 Storm, so Hydras sending Hydras across the map is a little bit of a risk. You can very easily do it. Just park them a bit back more and only send like 3 or 4 up to tickle at the wall, and then the Protoss has to decide whether they want to storm to stop those Hydras, or whether they want to hold on to that storm and wait for the large rush. Looks like he might be pushing out with another set of Zealots here. This can be a really good timing, but it is risky because right now that Zerg player could be building nothing but Hydras. That Zerg player could be droning up. His economy was hiccup, so the Zerg player pretty much has 2 ideas, and that's either drone to try and recover or just go all in. Either way, there's no way for him to really know unless he sends anything across the map. That Corsair would have been better to scout with to start with. And he leaves this High Templar behind, and if Cenderze notices, he can pick this High Templar off, but he's not going to notice in time. This High Templar's going to get over here, and it might get a massive storm off. This might even be a time where you want to save the storm and try and hit the mineral line. We'll have to see what he wants to do. Still holding it, still holding it. That's a great storm location. He's poking forward. He's going to lay it. Ooh, could have been better, but oh my gosh, they get all choked up on the Zerglings coming in. That did a lot of damage, and this is High Templar might get another storm off. Oh, he's focusing it down. He's going to pick it off. It is not going to get that second storm off, but that was still good damage on the Hydras, but there's not enough Zealots here to finish the attack. He needs to turn around, pull back, and go home. No, he's actually reinforcing with 2 more High Templar. Both of them do have storms. He needs to keep these Zealots alive if he can while these units are coming across the map. But no, he's filtering them in. 3 more Zealots are coming in, but that's still not enough Zealots to kill all these Hydras with good micro. Okay, 5 Zealots will take this number of Hydras. He could just A-click into this, but he wants to wait for the High Templars. Looks like he's changed his mind, is going to head back. I agree with that decision. There's no reason to be throwing these units away. You're already putting pressure on. He's already being forced to make units, even if you're not killing them at the moment. That's okay. Although I take that back because he's actually making drones. Cenderze Wow. Cenderze feeling very safe there, decided to go right into droning. He is getting his lurker aspect up, and we are getting a third base from our Protoss player. Our Protoss player should be up to about 8 gates now. Looks like we have 6 gates. I would like to see 2 more come down. That might be one right there. I can't click on it, and I don't remember the hotkey. Nope, those are pylons. Continuing that Great Wall of pylons. Very interesting SimCity here. So I don't like this for a couple of reasons. Every single one of these 3 gateways, and I think this one... Yeah, all 4 of these can't build Dragoons. If they build Dragoon, it's going to get stuck here, it's going to get stuck here, it's going to get stuck here. Maybe the Stargate actually is big enough to block that, but if that's the case, it'll get stuck here, and it'll get stuck here. This one can still build a Dragoon, but I like to have the standard kind of pylon wall down the middle with gateways off to the side, so you have at least 4 gateways that can be making Dragoons at all times. I do like this from Surikata. He is keeping his army aggressively out on the map. This is kind of putting a little bit of pressure on our Zerg player, and also stopping this base from being easily taken. If a Zerg player wants to take this base, he needs to push forward. We do have 5 Corsairs out, but they are not hotkeyed with a probe back home, so they're not stacking, which makes it a little bit easier to pick them off. Coming forward, going for just that kind of, oh, big storm right there. Gets 2 lurkers in that storm. One was unburrowed and one was burrowed, but with those lurkers there, he has to pull back. He doesn't have the observers to handle this. Kind of an awkward storm there, kind of just a panic, like, oh gosh, this is a nice choke if he chases me storm, but unfortunately doesn't get anything with it, but that's okay. None of the overlords died, but they have been tickled a little bit. It looks like one of them came real close to dying, so if he keeps this up and gets an observer over here real quickly, well, even then, ooh, this is not good for him. He's going to get sandwiched in here by lurkers from both sides. Needs to pay attention and notice this. He doesn't have an observer. If this burrows, that's deadly. Okay, he does notice. He can storm right here and kill that lurker off. That lurker is going to fall. No, that doesn't hit. That storm does not hit that lurker. That's unfortunate for him. Bringing in more reinforcements. He just needs to pull back, and he can head out this way safely. Manage to keep his army alive, and that's exactly what he needs to do, is keep his army alive. You do not want to throw away your army as a Protoss player. If you're ever in a position where you can't do anything, you either need to pull back or keep your army out of harm's way in some way, which usually is done by moving the army around comfortably. Oof. Takes 1 Scourge hit, takes another Scourge hit. Oh my gosh, that Corsair lives. That Corsair has survived 2 Scourge hits. That third one might catch it, though, and that might be the end of his career. Oh, it's going to be close. I think he's going to get away. I think he's going to be saved. Dragoons, save that Corsair. Nice. That Corsair has quite the tell to tell when he gets home. Hydra's moving out on the map. Nothing wrong with that. A bit of a Dark Templar up here, kind of looking for extra bases. I would like to see him move all the way down here, but that's okay. He's at least out on the map, and he's pretty close by for when he needs it. Actually, it would be the perfect time to have moved down here, because then he could have sniped this drone. But it looks like this base might go up uncontested, even with that Dark Templar on the map. We'll have to see. Surikata, listen to me. Go. 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 Nope. That base is going to go up uncontested, and that's okay. It's not the end of the world. He'll get some lurkers down here. That's going to give him a 4th and 5th base pretty easily, but once he scouts that, he should just easily take this base, or even come up here and start taking these bases. Taking a main base as a Protoss with some cannons here, get a Reaver or 2 on the high ground is pretty strong. Looks like this DT is going to head down here to the 3rd base, but with a Spore Colony and Overlords and Sunkens, it's not going to get much done. Needs to pull that out. Is he just going to try and suicide for the drones? Is he going to even get 1 drone? He is not. That Dark Templar is very sad, but that's okay, because now we have him pushing across the map. There is not a lot of defense here, but a good SimCity. He did fix the SimCity in the end with the 2 Evo chambers here and the Spore Colony. These Sunkens are very tucked back. You can easily fit some Hydras back here. This is a very good SimCity, especially with these drones kind of probably unintentionally blocking the little bits of holes that are there. We'll have to see where Surikata decides to attack. He definitely can't attack up this little choke, so he is going to start heading towards this 3rd base. And this 3rd base is a really good location to attack. There really isn't anything here for the Zerg player. There's 1 lurker coming up, but that's it for lurker, so he can easily get in here and bust us. The one thing he needs to worry about is getting trapped into this base location. Some lurkers here and some lurkers here will pretty much cost him to lose his entire army. But if he holds this high ground, he can trade extremely cost-effectively. This lurker is pretty much attacking uncontested. Where is that observer? You need to move that forward, bud. Move that forward and take that lurker out. That lurker is doing a ton of damage. Not much of a response here from our Zerg player. He's just going to pull his drones out. Here comes some units trickling in, but in these numbers, they're not going to really do much. Even throws down a storm on just 2 Hydras, just because why not? Looks like he was more focused on getting this 4th base up, and this is a risk with taking a 4th base as a Zerg. There is kind of a moment here where you're not able to produce units at the same rate as a Protoss player, and the Protoss can take advantage of that and attack at that moment. He needs to focus down this hatchery with the Zealots if he can, but I think he'll still get this whole base. We got a bunch of Hydras popping, but a lot of them are going to take damage pretty much the second they pop, and they're not going to get much done. More Hydras kind of trickling in, but he is taking a 4th base here now. So even if he loses all these, they're not technically the end of the world, but it is kind of rough to lose these bases. That's 3 hatcheries that aren't going to be producing for a minute, and these ones aren't quite done. Actually, they're just finishing up now. Back home, we got our +1 armor just about to finish up. +2 armor, excuse me. He went double forge, and I missed that. My apologies for that mistake. So our Protoss player is about to be 2-2, which is a huge upgrade advantage. Does get this whole base, but he's going to lose the rest of this army. But this army did pay for itself. At this point, oh, he even actually gets a massive storm there and might still be able to get this army out. At this point, this army has paid for itself. You generally don't want to lose your whole army as a Protoss player, but in this instance, taking out an entire base and killing an entire army from the Zerg player, you're probably going to be okay with that. Losing that High Templar is kind of a shame, but not much you could have done there. I would have liked to see him keep rallying his units across the map. Had he kept rallying his units across the map as they were making from the gateways, he could have gotten that whole army out, but at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. He has an Observer with him, but these 2 Lurkers are in a great position to get some good splash damage on. One of those Lurkers was extremely injured, though, and goes down almost instantly. So these units are going to get in here pretty much uncontested. We've got 1 Lurker left. There's no other units over here. Our Purple's Protoss player slowly sending up a large trickling of Hydras. He's got a Lurker here randomly that he forgot about. But, oh, that's massive. The High Templars lag behind. Throw down the second storm on this one. Unfortunately, those storms don't really hit much. Going to get a little bit of tickle damage there in the end, but 2 High Templars went down for almost nothing. We do still have 4 storms here, I believe. There's at least 3. And yeah, there is 4 storms here, so he's going to be able to push this back and keep moving up if he wants to. If he can take out this base, that is massive. Taking the Zerg down to 2 bases is unbelievably huge. And the Zerg player still has a large group of Hydras down here that aren't doing anything. They need to move up and try and help defend this base. We have more Hydras. Oh, we do have the Nidus Canal. Is it connected up to anywhere? I don't think it's been connected up. I think it just barely finished, so that the Nidus Canal is not going to be good for reinforcement. Unfortunately, gets his own Observer with that, but he does have 2 more with him. Hydras coming in. I would like to see these Hydras moving up, but they are attacking these Dragoons. I don't think there's much that the Zerg player can really do here. He might still hold onto this base, though. The Protoss player is really hemorrhaging, that is a hard word, units, and, well, we're not building anything out of these hatcheries, though, but with this reinforcement of Hydras, he should have enough here to clean this up and keep this base alive, and that is big. He needs to keep this base alive. Losing the Nidus Canal is a shame, but his position isn't as bad as it looks because Surikata's macro kind of slipped during all that. He was definitely focusing on microing, and that's kind of one of those things that happens to this game. Keep in mind, our last 2 games combined were almost an hour long, so both of these players are probably pretty exhausted. I would like to see you turn around and actually attack. If you micro these Hydras correctly, you can easily take this army out. You don't want to be attacking like this, though. This Hydra's not hitting every shot. Well, that's okay. He can bring more Hydras up, or more Zerglings, looks like is what he's going to do, and try and defend this base. We do have more units coming across the map from Surikata. This army should be a lot bigger. Like I said, his macro slip, but you can't really blame him. APM is taxing, especially when you're microing a lot of stuff, and these 2 players should be exhausted from the amount of time that they've been playing this game, for the past 2 games, so seeing that kind of a slip-up, I don't blame him at all. But the supplies and the drone count does tell a story about how dire of a situation Cenderze is in right now. He's only got 30 drones. He's only on 2 mining bases. This base still exists, but there's no drones here. He's not mining. He's not building anything up here, and they're not really serving any purpose at the moment. This push is going to come in here. That Lurker's not in the greatest position, but actually gets some pretty decent damage on. He does have 1 Lurker still left here, so with good control and this good Sim City, I don't think Surikata can break him here. But he can certainly keep the pressure on, stop him from taking any other bases. Pretty much just storming eggs and overlords there. There was 1 Hydra or 2 Hydras there, but this Hydra is going to pop, pretty much instantly get sniped. That 4 Hydra is not going to stand a chance. Good Sim City here is going to get some pretty good damage on these Zealots and stuff as they come in, but unfortunately there's no other units here to stop them from just pushing in. So those Lurkers are going to go down. There's 1 last Lurker left alive. This Lurker's going to have to hold its weight up. Let's see if it can kill these Zealots in time. It does kill those Zealots. All that's left is 3 Dragoons. That's all that is left here, and 1 DT. Where is that DT? There's that DT. That DT's going to get picked off. These 3 Dragoons should fall, and then I don't know if he can hold the next wave, but that will have him stabilized at the moment. He needs to get some more Lurkers morphing, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The pressure from Surikata here is just relentless, and I don't think Cenderze's 3 hatcheries can keep up with the amount of units that are streaming across the map. All Surikata has to do is go home macro properly and just keep A-clicking across the map, and Cenderze's not going to be able to keep up. Bunch of Zerglings being popped up here. He is finally making some units up here. He does have a couple of Lurkers, so I mean, I guess worst case scenario, he can try to like rebuild his tech up here, but that's just not going to be good enough. I don't see how he's going to. He needs to hold this position. If he loses this position, he loses the game. And unfortunately, these Zerglings are going to stream in 1 by 1 into a bunch of Zealots and High Templar. This Lurker, however, is putting in some good work, but that's going to be it. Cenderze is going to call it the GG. Nom Suricata is going to take the victory for Team Nom in a well-played best-of-3 series. Good job to both players, and thank you once again for submitting these replays of these amazing games.